Guys, Ryan's asleep right now. It's his birthday tomorrow, so I'm gonna quickly decorate the boat for him to wake up to. Alright, I feel like I nailed that. It looks pretty good. Happy birthday to you.
To me? Good morning. You bought me a present. You bought milk and that stuff's like 10 bucks. Oh, milk and donuts. All right, it's my birthday today. I'm 36 years old. Holy. Feels like just the other day I was like surfing and skateboarding and playing ice hockey. So part of me feels like I'm 36. Like I better sort my life out, you know? And the other part of me thinks like I'm 36 and I still shave like every 2 weeks. Hey? Am I old or am I young? I can't work that part out yet. I feel like I'm getting old. Hey, happy birthday to me!
Happy birthday, Sted.
I want to thank Brittany, Mum and Dad for what they did 36 years and 9 months ago. Oh no! My new shirt! My new shirt! This is why I can't have nice things.
You idiot! Don't clothesline yourself on the decoration.
Is that gonna stain?
Yes.
5 hours later.
As you know, we're doing a lithium upgrade with Renogy. We've got all our batteries, we've got our chargers, our solar chargers, basically got everything. But they sent us a 110 volt inverter, and now they've sent us a 220 volt inverter because our boat runs on 220 volts, so we can actually start the install now. Pretty exciting, hey? This morning I woke up and our batteries are down to 11.2 volts. So I don't even know how that's possible, but it's what it said. So thanks, Renogy. And you know what? It's my birthday today. All right, sweet cheeks. So let the battery install begin. All right, so if you guys have been following this journey from the start, you know we bought the boat 3 years ago in Malta, and we've actually gone through 2 banks of batteries, lead acid batteries, over the last 3 years. So today is a huge, exciting, magnificent moment to install these lithium batteries. So we're going to take you through the process now of, I guess, installing our 400 amp hours of lithium iron phosphate batteries. And in the meantime, we're going to replace our solar chargers, add a DC-DC converter, and install a massive inverter charger so we can run all our electronics. Hey? So sexy legs, ready to rip up the boards and pull out these big ass batteries and put in our new ones?
Yes. I want smoothies.
Alright, let's do it. Underneath the stairs here in the kitchen, this is where all our batteries are. We've got our generator start battery, engine start battery, and then these are our house batteries, which take up all the room. So our new lithium batteries are literally half the size. So we're gonna put 4 batteries right here.
Alright guys, I'm scared, but how are we gonna start this? Where the hell do you begin?
So, I don't know.
That's not a good start, Ryan.
Yeah. Alright, it's pretty simple. It's just 12 volts. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to switch off all the isolation switches down here. We're going to switch off the solar panels just in case. I think we should throw like a big blanket across our solar panels. I don't want to be like pulling apart solar panels when the sun's on them. Let's just throw a big blanket over them and I'll disconnect them here and we'll turn everything off. Alright, let's do it.
That was scary. Everything started turning off.
Alright.
So Ryan's currently taping off our positive and negative so that we know which one's which, obviously. And then it'll make it easier when we connect the batteries back together. Because these batteries are connected in parallel, we got to disconnect them systematically, which is what we're going to do now. It's actually not that complicated, it just sounds complicated.
We're going to disconnect the negative on the last battery, and then the first battery, and then the third, and then the second. And then we'll go back to the first battery, we'll take the positive, go to the last battery, take the positive, and then positive and positive. And that's the proper way to disconnect them. In the meantime, until we do all of the cables, we don't want any of them touching, eh? You know what, when you're dealing with electronics, like I said, you treat them right and they'll treat you right.
I just want some kombucha. On a side note, Ryan's very OCD about his bilges. They're usually pretty much in pristine condition. Since having the puppies, that's been compromised. If anybody knows of a boat that doesn't have floors with cracks in them that dog pee can trickle down to, that would be really helpful. All right, guys, we've got the batteries disconnected now.
So now we just disconnect all this stuff here. There we go, take all that off. Oh, God, this weighs a ton, hey?
I'm not gonna be able to pick that up.
Hey, why can't you do the next one? Let's do it.
No, I'm gonna hurt my back. Oh my God!
Come on. Don't drop it.
Okay, 1, 2. We've hit a roadblock.
The batteries came out alright, but the big black containers I was sitting in have been screwed and silicon down, so we had to rip all that up, and now we're scratching the silicon off, and we've been doing it for hours. So we'll spend the night, we'll clean all this up, and scrape off all the silicon and get ready. Maybe in the morning we'll connect up the lithium batteries, eh?
Alright guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
Hey buddy! Oh, nice stretch. Alright, let's go, mate. Let's go. Day 2. So I think what I'm going to do now is just make a little frame at the bottom of the bilge here to sit the batteries on, and then get them mounted and tied down, and then we'll start connecting it all up. So this is the board the batteries are going to be strapped down to, and we're going to screw that down to the bilge where the original box was. I've marked out where the holes were so I can screw into the original holes. We'll strap them down, and then the batteries won't move and they'll be safely secured.
Look, tell the world I'm on a mission. You can feel that the energy is shifting. Less than one ain't nothing I'm comprehending. I dread losing more than I love winning. Yeah, I be on my grind. If it's number 2, I ain't satisfied. I'm on fire. What I'm gonna do, they can't even try. Feel a vibe when I'm coming through. Can't ignore the signs. Yeah, you might be in the running, but no victory is mine. Yeah, I'm ballin'. Whole team with me and refuse taking losses. Know the key to winning more than running our offense. Do it for the city, give them reason to be talking. Anytime the competition see us, they get nauseous. I'm Muhammad Ali, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan. Every single day I play, I gotta put my all in. Any question asked, let the actions do.
So essentially they'll just go between each battery here and here. So I've got 3 of them, and I haven't cut any negative ones yet. So I'm going to do the negative cables. They'll all be the same length, and we're going to use a hydraulic crimping tool for that as well. And then we've got yeah, the main negative to the isolation switch and the positive to that isolation switch. Keep all them the same length. I don't know why, but I try and keep everything the same length. So I've done that all throughout the whole system, like positive, negative on the solar panels, positive, negative for the DC to DC charger going to this house battery that I'm sitting on right now. They're all the same length. We'll do the same here, and then once I put them back to the isolation switch, then we can essentially start turning everything back on. Play around with that, cut them, connect it up. Bob's your uncle. Hey Britt, sexy legs?
Yeah.
Hey?
Get out of here.
I'ma get this far, forfeited, so a day I'ma raise the bar on a mission, go make plays with the whole squad till we all win it. That's the only way that we'll become victorious. Passion made me a winner. Number 1, what they say. Everything we deliver is for the love of the game. Never fall, never give up. Through the struggle and pain. Everything we deliver is for the love of the game. Let's go!
We've activated the batteries by putting this one in the up port on the first battery. So now we've got a Cat 6 cables. We go from the link port from the first battery, which is this one, the positive. We go from the link port to the up port. Get the next one. Go from the link port to the up port. Go again from the link port to the up port. So these are the smallest cables I could actually get. So we're gonna have to keep them coiled up a little bit like this. So maybe I'll put them like that, eh? All right, so we've got the batteries all connected up. Basically, we've got the positives connected to the positive terminals for a parallel battery bank, and the negatives connected to the negative. Then we've got the Cat 6 cable, which is a communication cable connected to each battery. All you need to do now is get a network adapter, plug it in here, and then on this side, we can plug in our other Renogy products to the network adapter, and then we plug the Bluetooth module into that, and everything will then communicate to each other. So there's only one thing in this system that I changed. We got these lithium charge controllers, which take a different Bluetooth module because they were out of stock of the ones that I wanted. So I don't think it makes a difference. It just means I had to use 2 separate Bluetooth modules to connect to the home DC app, which I'm hoping works. So yeah, that's the only thing I did differently. Otherwise, if I had got the other Mppt controllers, everything would just run off the one Bluetooth module. This morning I went down to a shop called Electech. Brought all these little fittings, a little bit of cable, and a breaker that I needed. Safety's first, hey Brittany? Yes. Safety's first, so. Number one, what they say. Everything we deliver is for the love of the game. Never fall, never give up. Through the struggle and pain. Everything we deliver is for the love of the game. Let's go! Oh, I'm getting sick of this generator sound, hey? Yeah. We've had the generator on like 24/7.
And I'm attempting to cook dinner full of tools.
Yeah. So I'm just throwing up the solar chargers, the DC to DC charger. I'm gonna smash out that inverter. I thought we would have finished today, but I spent half the time trying to find parts this morning. I got the wrong parts. We'll go back to the electrical shop tomorrow, and I got to swap over a couple of little things, but I guess tomorrow will be like testing everything and turning it on, huh?
I freaking hope so. See you tomorrow.
So these are 40 amp Mppt solar charge controllers, so I can actually connect up to 520 watts of solar into each unit. Right now we're running 320 into each unit with a total of 640 solar. The solar panels, positive, negative, just run straight into the bottom of these bad boys through a circuit breaker, so I can actually switch them on and off. Then the positive and negative cables run back out to the bus bar down here through their own separate fuses as well, before going to our main 150 amp circuit breaker into the batteries. Now again, these guys also have their own communication cable, so everything talks to each other, and we can also view it on the app. So with lithium batteries, you can't directly connect them to your AGM or lead acid start battery, but you still want the alternator to be able to charge both battery banks at the same time. So that's when you get one of these bad boys. So this is a DC to DC charger. This particular model though has an inbuilt Mppt solar charger on it. So you can actually connect this to your alternator and your solar panels that will charge your house batteries. So this is a 50 amp charger. So basically what it does is it allows me to run 25 amps of solar and a 25 amps coming from the alternator. I'm not using this for solar at all. I'm only using it for the alternator. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get up to 50 amps from this, but we'll have to check that once we get moving. Now this particular model actually has a voltage sensitive relay. So depending on the voltage of the engine battery is when it'll kick in to start charging the house batteries. And then also once they're fully charged, it will automatically limit the charge coming into the house batteries so we don't overcharge them. If you're not running lithium batteries, it also comes with a temperature sensor you can connect to the battery bank. This has a communication cable connected to it, which is also connected to our batteries, and with the batteries having their own temperature sensor, we don't need to run that cable. So the way I connected this up was I ran a positive straight from the engine start battery into this unit, and then we ran all the negatives to a bus bar. And then the house battery positive comes out of the unit into the positive side of the bus bar. Now the bus bar here is actually connected to a 150 amp circuit breaker. Every holiday we caption every move. They say passion don't mean talent, that ain't true. Cause talent is developed once passion is pursued. Key is to be willing to be eager. Always be the student at the teacher. Couple rules when you strive to be a leader. Know that every dream starts with a dreamer. Keep it honorable. Any moves nothing less than remarkable. Make it to the point we get it jumping like Vince Carter do. They shook now, but in fear when These are our battery isolators. What I'm doing now, I'm removing one of the battery isolators and I'm rearranging this whole section underneath the seat here to fit the inverter. So the new inverter charger is quite massive, so I'm trying to get it in the best spot and clean up these cables. Come have a look. Because now that DC to DC charger that goes between the alternator and the lithium batteries, I'm actually going to connect that directly to the engine start battery and put it between the engine start battery and the lithium batteries without going through the isolator, because the DC to DC charger has an isolator built into it. There's no point going through two isolators. Like I said earlier, we're just minimizing the cabling because every meter is a voltage loss. So I'm going to disconnect the house battery cable from these isolators, which in return will give us a spare one. So if this one ever breaks, at least we've got a spare one now. And I'm basically going to have the bow thruster going in here, the original charger going to go in here. So this isolator essentially now is only going to isolate the engine start battery to the bow thrusters. This charger we're going to keep and just have that charger doing the bow thruster and the house batteries. And then we're going to have our lithium charger, which is the Renogy one, which is going to be set to lithium, and that's going to charge, and we'll use that as an inverter as well. Anyway, I'm going to tidy up these cables. I'm going to put a shelf on here ready for the new charger. Go boom, sit here. The reason I want to try and fit it in here is because it's such a huge inverter, 3000 watts inverter. The cable between the batteries and the inverter needs to be minimal. We're running about a meter, or not even, we're running about 600 mil of cable from the batteries to these isolators, and then from these isolators will be another 300 mil. So we're literally going to have 1 meter of cable between the batteries and the inverter, which is pretty awesome. So if I can keep it in here, we can still use these isolation switches to turn the inverter on and off, and it's a real short run. Just means it's going to be super squashy in here now.
Did you guys get all that?
Sure they did.
Are you guys keeping up? I am.
So I've mounted the charger on the back wall there. I've got the bow thruster and the engine battery connected into this little 40 amp charger, and I've got them connected into the isolation switch. I've removed the house battery cable that went into the second isolation switch, which I've now taken away, and the other cable went into the battery charger here for the house batteries. So now the house batteries, the cabling's all completely taken away. It's not there anymore. I'll rewire it from the isolation switches here into the inverter charger, which is going to mount on top here. So I just got to put a shelf in. So alright guys, it's been a long day, but we've connected up the inverter charger. Basically it's pretty simple. We've got a negative terminal and a positive terminal that goes into the charger, and then you've got two AC cables here. One's an input, one's an output. Basically the input is for shore power, or in our case generator, and then the output is all our power points. This particular model will charge our batteries at 75 amps per hour, and the inverter is a 3000 watt inverter, so essentially power almost everything on the boat except for the air conditioner. But the air conditioner is huge. Tried to connect it up to the whole boat power system though. Problem we have there is that our generator is got a bonded earth, and this is a floating earth, so I didn't really want to mix it up and have our whole boat as a floating earth, so I've run a separate cable with certain power points for this inverter. There are different ways around that. A lot of people put on a separate isolation switch, either shore power generator or inverter. I didn't really want to do that, so I decided to take the non-easy way and just run all new cables through the boat. And put in a whole new circuit. But yeah, this thing's absolutely epic. I don't really know what to say about it. It's so good. Brittany, we can now run vacuum cleaner, microwave, wash machine, I don't know, everything.
And if you guys are wondering why Ryan sounds so tired, the poor guy has spent the last, 5 days straight, day and night, trying to get this installed. It's one of those jobs, as with any boat job, you go in with great intentions and a great plan, but things always pop up that you're not really expecting. So there's been a lot of like kind of stop go. Lots of runs to the chandlery and electronics store and stuff. So
alright guys, so
we're gonna sign off. We're gonna get this guy to bed.
I'm gonna go to toilet, what's up?
Oh god. Okay, good night.
They're connected in parallel, baby. Oops, sorry.
I don't think that's good an angle.
Wow. Didn't think that was gonna happen.
You burnt off some of the hairs on the mic.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh shit, I really did.
That takes.
Actually a good thing that I burnt the bottom of them. I was gonna cut them anyway. Come to give me a hand, buddy. What? And Brittany raced down and swapped over 8 fittings for me and got the right size. So that was the first mistake. And now the second mistake is I'm just one of these larger fittings short. So need one more of them. And yeah, we're all good. So apart from that, I've done super well planning this whole installation. Hey Brittany? Yeah, she's pissed because she's gonna run down there now and go get it. And it's not a quick trip either. Alright, so always pays have a good engineering mate that you can ring and get his advice. So I've got my good mate Rick.
Hey, what's
not.
You do not want to be the engineering friend because you get phone calls 24/7. 3 hours at a time.
Nah, we've been talking other stuff. If you like the videos, please subscribe. Fell off the couch. Like and subscribe.